Hello everyone, so welcome to your lab assignment 7, that is on disjoint sets. Okay, so instructions here are very similar to what we had in the last assignment, so you can go through these. So let me directly talk about the problem statement. So what is the underlying setting? So you are given Mr. Scrooge is a treasure hunter, and what he has come across a map which shows possible treasure buried deep inside the earth. Now, okay, inside the earth, where exactly the uh, treasure is. So what you are being shown, so this place has M cross N chambers. So you have M cross N chambers, and there are stone walls between every two adjacent chambers. So you can think of this as a grid where this is your 0 0 and this is your M minus 1 0 and this is your M minus 1 N minus 1 and this is your 0 N minus 1. Okay, so there are a total of M cross N chambers, and there is a stone wall between every two chambers. So there is stone wall between every two chambers. Okay. There is also a stone wall around. Okay. Now the map also contains some sort of a spell, the same spell that can be used to remove the stone walls. So in the spell you can give an argument that which stone wall you have to remove, and it will remove that. But the condition is that, the constraint is that you can only use this spell at most mn minus 1 times. You cannot use it more than mn minus 1 times. So after that it is no longer usable. Now the most precious treasure is located just beside the last chamber. So that is M minus 1, N minus 1. That is where the most precious treasure is located. Now, Mr. Scrooge does not want to only see this. So, for example, there may be some other treasure somewhere. So, in this chamber, there may be some other treasure. So, Mr. Scrooge, he also wants to explore all other chambers to see if there is something valuable inside. But so in the naive way, what he can do, he can remove all the stone walls and go everywhere. But you see, there is a constraint that at most mn minus 1 stone walls can be removed. So now the problem is here. The problem is that he has to find out the treasure within by removing just mn minus 1 stone walls. Okay. Now the question is, how exactly does he know, like which mn minus 1 stone walls should remove so that he can reach from here to here and also reach all other chambers. So just to give you an example that yes, he needs to understand what are those mn minus 1 walls. So you can take a grid, say of size 3 cross 3, or let's say 2 cross 3. Okay, and so how many walls are there? So we don't have, so there is always an entry here and an exit here. Okay, and we don't have to worry about these outer walls. So these are the outer walls, and you see there is no point in removing any of the outer wall. It does not help. So he has to remove the inner walls. So what are the inner walls? So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inner walls, right? Now there are 7 inner walls. Now, as per his spell, he can remove at most Mn minus 1, that is 5 walls he can remove. And you can see if he just arbitrarily removes 5 walls. So suppose he says, I will remove, I'll put in black, I remove this, 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 and this. You see his objective is not fulfilled. So if he does that, he can explore all the chambers, but he cannot go this part. Alright? So his objective is not fulfilled. So he has to exactly know which 5 walls he has to remove. And that is where he needs your help, because you have studied the disjoint set data structure. Okay? So can the disjoint set data structure help you in finding out which of those Mn minus 1 walls he should remove? Now how do you solve this problem using disjoint set data structure? So what you should do? So think of the chambers like a grid. So you have a grid, okay? So M cross N grid, and you are actually in the figure we are showing the initial grid and the final grid after you remove the Mn minus 1 walls. So in the initial grid, all the chambers are separated by stone walls, yes, except there is one entry point here and one exit point here. Now in the final grid, what you are seeing, there is a unique path. So there is a path between this chamber to every chamber. Between any two chambers there is a path. So let's say this and this. You see there is a path. So you can traverse like this, right? And if you wanted to go here. So you can actually traverse from any chamber to any other chamber. So there is a path now. And similarly there is a path from starting to end. So you can traverse this path. Yes. Now this is the final grid by removing exactly Mn minus 1 grids. So now you have to find out how exactly you will remove these Mn minus 1 grids. So this is the process you will follow. So you think about removing the walls randomly, not in some particular order. So you randomly choose a wall. So randomly choose a wall. So it should be an inner wall, not an outer wall. That can be removed. So that is not yet removed. Okay. So now let's say you chose one. So suppose you came out with this option, right? And then you see, if I remove this, what are the two chambers that it is connecting? So it is connecting this and this, the two chambers. Now you should remove this wall only if these two are not connected beforehand. So if they are already connected by some other path, you should not remove this. So for example, if I go here, let's say I removed these 4 walls. I don't think this is the correct order, but let's say I removed these 4 walls. Or let's say I removed this, I removed this, okay. So these are connected. I removed this, these 3 are connected. Then I removed this, okay. Let's say I removed this and this, these 3 walls. Now should I remove this wall at all? Because if I remove this wall, this and this room are open, but I have to check whether they are already connected. You see, they were already connected by this path, so there is no point in removing this particular wall. So you have to take this into consideration, that a stone wall should not be removed if the 2 chambers on the either side of the wall are already connected by some path. Then I don't have to remove that. So after removing Mn minus 1 walls, the chambers are fully connected. So every chamber is reachable from the start chamber. So how is that guaranteed that they are fully connected? So for that you can think of the disjoint set data structure. So what do you think in the disjoint set data structure? You can think of these M cross N grid as, so initially you think of as if you have M cross N disjoint sets. Each set is a grid or a chamber. Yes. Now you randomly choose a wall. and you find out the two sets or two chambers Ci and Cj on the either side of the wall, right? Now you see whether Ci and Cj are in the same set or in different set, right? How do you do that? Use find set. If find set of Ci and find set of Cj are same, then they are in the same set. Then there is no point of removing this wall. But if they are in the different sets, if they are in different sets, then you can remove this wall. So this is all you have to do. Randomly choose a wall, find out the two chambers, are they in the same set or different sets? If they are in the different set, then you remove this wall so that they become the same set. Now you merge this set. Okay. So yeah. So formally let C be a set of size S and C1 to Ct be the pairwise disjoint subsets of C, such that C is just a union of all these sets. So these are all disjoint subsets. Now for our application, C is a set of M cross N chambers and Ck are the connected chambers. Initially there are all M cross N chambers, singleton each. Now what kind of data structure you use? So we are telling you very specifically. So you have to represent Ck as a rooted tree. Okay, you need to use a rooted tree. We are connected by the parent pointers. So you have a root, and initially the parent pointer of the root will be the root itself. Okay, but as you keep on merging things, you can have another nodes that will point to this and so on. So we assume that the pointer of the root is the root itself, like we do in the rooted trees for disjoint sets. Now the identifier of a tree is the root. Okay, so whenever you say find set for a particular element, you have to go to the root. You have to follow the parent pointer, go to the root until you find the parent pointer is the root itself. So in order to find a subset Ck to which individual element belongs, we start at the node storing C and move up the tree following parent pointers and return the root. Right? That is simply the find set. So as you know, in the disjoint set data structure, these are the three main operations that it needs to support, and you have to actually code these three mainly. So first is the make set. In make set, what you do, initially the chambers are isolated from each other. So that means you have to create a set for each of the chambers. So you have to have an M cross N sets. And how you are doing that, you are using an array of size M cross N. Okay, so each chamber is denoted by an element of this array, and this you are calling a rooted tree, and this would have a data structure of type node, and that we are showing here. Node, so what you are having at each node, it is having a parent pointer, yes, and a rank. Rank is simply to tell what is the size of the subset. So where this element is the root. So this is necessary only when the element is the root, you need to use this size. Okay, so rank contains the size of the subset only when it is the root. Okay. So you have to do a make set. You have to create set for all these M cross N elements. And initially you can set the rank field of each node to 0. Okay, as if the size is 0. Now what do you do next? You have to create this find set. So in find set, what you will do, so given a node, that is any ijth chamber, you locate what is the id, that is what is the root of the tree to which this chamber belongs. So that is easy. You will have any particular chamber and you will be following the parent pointers until you reach a node, so that is the parent of itself. You return this, and this will also contain the rank, the size. Okay. Now what additionally you have to do, in find set you have to apply path compression. So remember what path compression helps? Path compression helps is that whenever you have a node in the path or even this node, next time there will be a direct link from here to here. Okay, so you have to use path compression while doing find set. Now once you are trying to remove a wall, you will do find for this chamber and this chamber. Now if they are coming out to be different IDs, you will have to do a merge set, that is same as union. You have to do a union of these two sets, and you have to do that by using the rank. So that is, you will make the root of the smaller tree a child of the root of the larger tree, and if both the roots have the same rank, you increase the rank of the new root by 1. That's all you have to do. So just a clarification here, in the notes, what I talked about was union by. So when you were doing union by size. You were storing the size. Okay, but here in the assignment you are storing the rank. There is just a subtle difference. The underlying idea is the same. So in the size you store the actual size of the subset. In rank you are storing just initially all zeros, and then you keep on increasing the rank whenever you merge two subsets of the same size. If they have the same rank, you increase the rank of the new root by 1. So you can still do this merge by ranks. You can always compare the ranks. If they are same, just put the root of one of the tree as the child of another and increase the rank of the root by 1. And if they have different ranks, you always put the smaller tree, that is the lower rank one, to the larger, right? So yeah, that's just that clarification that we talked about size in the class. Here we are talking about rank. Now see, another thing is that you have to remove the walls randomly. So for removing the walls, we are asking you to maintain two arrays. So array H, m-1 cross n walls, because you see outer walls need not be removed, so there is no point of keeping that in the array at all. So they're just inner walls, m-1 cross n. So horizontal walls will look like this. So if I go, so these are horizontal walls, right? 1 cross 3. These are 2 cross 3, this is 1 cross 3. And how many vertical walls? So 2 cross 2. So there are m-1 cross n horizontal walls and m cross n-1 vertical walls. Okay. Outer walls are not even considered here. So you have to randomly select either a horizontal or vertical wall. Yes. And remember, you should not select a wall again and again. So once you have removed a wall or selected it and checked, you need not select it again. So you have to maintain some array for doing that. Sure. So you will randomly select a wall, check the two chambers. If they are not, randomly select a wall, horizontal or vertical, take the two chambers. If they are not connected, merge the sets. That's all. Okay. Now what is the input your program will accept? The number of rows and the number of columns. Okay. And if there is nothing given in the command line, you will just take by default 10 cross 10. Okay. So yeah, in part 1 what you will do, initialize your C, H and V according to this 10 cross 10 or whatever m cross n that is given to you, and that will initialize the chambers, horizontal wall and vertical walls. Now you implement a disjoint set data structure. So this is your definition of a node. You see, you don't have to store the data it is containing, because the C array is storing that. The array C stores this. So any element is the node that contains the rank and the parent pointer. And whenever you merge two sets, you just change its parent pointer to whatever new element it is pointing to. So in part 2 you write a function find treasure, so that removes mn-1 stone walls such that all the chambers are the same set. That also include the first and the last one. So once you have done that, you see this contains many different things like selecting randomly stone walls, calling find set, calling merge set, etc. But once it is done, Then you do a final verification. You call find set for the first and the final chambers. We know what is the first and final chambers, right? This one and this one, and verify that they are in the same set. Okay, and you print appropriate message, something like yes, they are in the same set. I'll show you the sample. In part 3, in part 3 what you have to do, you have to also print how the grid looks like. And this grid is printed using some vertical bars and the dashed characters. And they will represent the stone walls and plus represent the corners. So a wall will look like this. So you see these are the corners and these are the horizontal walls and these are the vertical walls. So you have to write this function that can print this grid. Okay, and the start and end chamber should have the openings that have been explained. So your main function will do simply reading m and n from the console, and if there is no m and n, it will just take a default value and initialize the arrays C, H and V, print initial grid. Then it will call find treasure, remove the m and minus install walls, and print the final grid. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can actually verify that even with less than m minus 1 walls, it may happen that first and last are connected, but all chambers may not be fully connected. So sample output, suppose your input is 5 and 6, and output will be yes. So first of all, you will say whether after removing m and minus 1 walls, there can be reached or not, and then you will print the initial and the final grid. Okay. And of course, there are some nodes. For example, at the time of evaluation, you can expect different data, right? Should not code for only 10 cross 10. And you are not, in this assignment, we are not asking you to write the output to a file. You can simply read input from the console and write it to the console. And because you have to also use some randomization for the walls, use rand function. And so that you can get different random numbers, use this particular in your main, so that you can get different random numbers. So yeah, that is your assignment. All the best. Okay.